This is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Subscribe, rate, or review, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Check us out. And don't forget about the Instagram at That Guy Jig, Jigsaw Jimmy 17 on the YouTube. Week 7 of the NFL is exactly how it's been. It's exactly how it's been. For those of us who are focused and are locked in, it's another week. Another guy goes down. Another wide receiver goes down. Stephon Diggs is done for the season. Torn ACL. He is done. So now, once again, as fantasy football managers, we are once again forced to roll up the sleeves of research. And we have to dive into the shit that we know as waiver wire. And we must find and pull out gold. Because at this point in the season, we cannot give up. We cannot let go of a lead in which we have or a lead in which we are chasing. Because right now, you're either one or two things. You're either safe or you're not safe. You're either in the playoffs or you're not. There is no in between. You're in or you're not. And that's what fantasy football is about. I'm here to tell you, seeding, it's important. But it's not that important. What's important is getting into the playoffs. That is what is important. Listen, if you get into the playoffs, you're in the money. As long as you're in, you have a chance at the money. You have a chance at the chip. You have a chance at eternal life. You have a chance to put your name down in the league books forever. No one cares about second or third place, people. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Is that at this point, we know DK Metcalf may come back this week, but it's not for sure. So we're planning accordingly. We know Mike Evans will not be back, so we're planning accordingly. We know Deontay Johnson just got traded to the Ravens, so we are planning accordingly. Now, that does have a negative effect on other wide receivers. If you had Rashad Bateman, if you had Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews is probably safe with his numbers because him and Lamar go back. Isaiah Likely. There's a reason why you go make this trade week 7. You feel like you don't have enough weapons to get Lamar to get the ball out. You feel like Lamar is holding on to the ball. You feel like there's more weapons out there for you to have on your holster. So this will have a negative effect on a couple wide receivers. Zay Flowers, I believe, is yet to hit the paint, so we're still waiting for that paint job. Derrick Henry will continue to get his workload because why stop feeding the beast? But eventually, when it comes to playoffs, we know that the competition gets stiffer. We know the competition is erect. We know the competition studies harder. So with that being said, there will be more people loading the box to take Derrick Henry away from the Ravens because there are people out there that believe that Derrick Henry is the key to success, and those people are correct. But the one thing that I will say that has not came up yet is that the play action has not been used yet. They have been feeding the ball to Derrick Henry to the point of, I believe that when playoffs get here, we will see a hell of a lot more play action from the Ravens. We saw Cooper Kupp come back. We saw Puka Nacua come back. Both of these guys came back to their normal selves, and when they came back, they elevated Matthew Stafford back to the status in which he is, 4 touchdowns. We saw Jalen Hurts rush for 3 touchdowns. The tush push is the most bullshit play in football, especially for a gambler like myself who needs Saquon Barkley for an anytime touchdown to cash his parlay. I think that it's bullshit. I truly do. I played Jalen Hurts in 3 leagues this week, and I lost on 2 of them. I think I won 1, though. Lucky me. The Browns pull off the upset. Jameis Winston being in for the Cleveland Browns brings relativity to these wide receivers, to these running backs. I told you about Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, and Jerry Jeudy are now valuable pieces. I had a guy offer me a trade for Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman, in my opinion, will be the wide receiver number 1 for the Cleveland Browns. Here in the next couple weeks, it will show more and more. I think there's a couple wide receivers out there that are new number 1s because of the new trade value. I think there's wide receivers that have dropped down because of where they are now. Case in point, Davante Adams. Davante Adams is not a wide receiver 1 anymore. We cannot treat Davante Adams as a wide receiver 1 because he's the Robin to Batman, which is Garrett Wilson. Now, it is to be seen. We will see how far this holds. But trust me, Just trust me. The Falcons did what they were supposed to do. Kirk Cousins bounced back. The Packers do what they were supposed to do. Stephon Diggs is out for the season. He is done. He is done. Amari Cooper looks to be getting kind of more adjusted to the Bills' offense. The Bills are looking good. I'm telling you, when it comes to fantasy football, there are some gold out there. The Pittsburgh Steelers have gold. If you can get your hands on, George Pickens, because you can get him for cheap. Najee Harris, you might have to give up a little bit, but I'm saying people for the Steelers are more valuable because they have Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was not the problem in Denver. The problem in Denver was that they had an incompetent Nathaniel Hackett at head coach, and they also had it's a terrible wide receiving core. It's terrible. When you go from Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and you go to Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, it's a big drop-off. When you go from Pete Carroll to Nathaniel Hackett, that's a huge drop-off. So far, we're doing nothing but dropping and expecting a man to excel. That is a wild, wild behavior to have. And that's a wild thought process to have. Listen, I'm not saying Russell Wilson is a world beater. I'm not saying Russell Wilson is somebody you go out and trade for. But what I'm saying is Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are in the same boat. They can keep the ship afloat, and they know what their job is. They understand as an NFL quarterback, my job is to get the best players the ball, not turn the ball over. They understand that. Now, back to that Jameis Winston thing, he did have LASIK. He did have LASIK eye surgery. So if you need a quarterback, Jameis Winston would not be a bad guy just because we know he's going to spin that pill. But here we are, people. Week 9. We're almost there. We are literally almost to playoffs, folks. If you're trying to make a playoff push, the time is now. I'm serious. All that talk before about, don't panic and panic. It's week 9. Week 9. There's 17 weeks of fantasy football. We are halfway through the season, folks. I need you to panic. If you're comfortable, it's no bueno, amigo. Comfortability and tranquility is no bueno. We need you stressed. We need to be pulling our hair out. Because if we get comfortable, we will lose. We don't celebrate. It's on to Cleveland. Week 9, Thursday night football. Texans and Jets. Texans do not have Stephon Diggs. I'll give you another set of two. And John Mechie. Look for him to step up into a more prominent role for the Texans. This is a guy they drafted high. If it wasn't for injuries and freak accidents, he probably would still be in there flourishing. Nico Collins is still going to be out. Look for a heavy dosage of Joe Mixon. Look for the Jets to try to bounce back. They have to do something offensively. They have too many weapons to be this bad. And you know what else is bad? If you don't hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me real quick. Thank you. But the Jets offensively have been bad, and they have to get better. This is not a team you can get better against because the Houston Texans defense is solid. This is a very good defensive team. C.J. Stroud's hitting a kind of a slump this year. Losing a weapon is not going to help, but at the same time, it could calm it down a little bit because now he's back to what he knows. The familiarity of the game. He's back to Tank Dell, Nico, John Mechie, Robert Woods, Dalton Schultz, the people that got him in this position. Sometimes a new wide receiver can bring on a little new stress. Because you have to figure out how to get him the ball and keep him happy because he is a, top 15 receiver in the NFL. But that's Thursday night football. I like the Jets in this game just because of how beat up the Houston Texans are, but I would not be surprised if the Texans win this game. They have to have a pushback game. The Cowboys and Falcons game, this is going to be a high-scoring game. This is a game you want to be a part of. Darnell Mooney, Tyler Algier in deeper leagues, Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kirk Cousins should throw the ball a lot. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Turpin, if you're in leagues where you have points for kick returners, Turpin's a guy you're going to want in this game because there's going to be a lot of points scored, so he's going to have a lot of opportunities to return kicks. More kicks, more life, more points. Look for Ezekiel Elliott to keep showing his presence. Dallas looks a little more competent. They still suck, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we saw something that's going to change the way. But what I will say is this. Dallas needs this game. They need this game. I think Dallas wins this game. It's in a dome. I like Dak and the guys to go in there and beat Atlanta. I just do. Dolphins and Bills is going to be another high-scoring game. Dolphins and Bills. Look for Tyreek Hill probably to get in the paint this week. I hope. I have Tyreek Hill in the league. I'm glad that he had some production. I still don't understand the whole last 4 weeks. Don't get me started. But the Bills offense, you like them. You like the Bills offense versus this Miami's defense. You like James Cook. You like Khalil Shakir. You like Cooper. You like Dalton Kincaid. Everybody on the Bills offense you like, and you like everybody on the Dolphins offense. This is one of those games where you set it and forget it. You just look and see how many points you have at the end of the game, because this is one of those games that are going to be good. It's going to be one of those good games. 49 points is the over-under, so you know they're expecting points. Raiders and Bengals, all thing Bengals. Anything Bengals we are starting this week. Not to say the Raiders are that bad, but just to say the Bengals need these games. The Bengals have to win. So if you have Joe, if you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, these guys. Zach Moss, I don't know. See, I've told you that Zach Moss has a fumbling issue and he's old. You can't be both in the NFL. You can have one or the other, but you can't have both. That is the kiss of death. If he keeps fumbling, look for him to get 0 carries. But Chase Brown is the new number 1 in Cincinnati, mark my words. Look for all of them to do their dirt early. Look for all of them to get to the paint early. The longer this game stretches out, the more likely the Bengals are going to lose. So with the Raiders, Jacoby Myers is one of those new number 1s I was talking about earlier. Him and Brock Bowers are going to dominate targets for the foreseeable future. The rest of the receiving core seems incompetent. Alexander Madison's a guy you can really lean on to be a flex position, especially if you're in between weeks or if you got an injury. Look for these guys on the Raiders to really carry the mantle. I like those Raiders players. I don't know about anybody else because no one else has done anything with the opportunity given. Chargers and Browns. Look for the Browns to keep things rolling. Look for Jameis to keep things rolling. Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy, Nick Chubb. These are the guys that are good. David Njoku. These are the guys. Lad McConkey, J.K. Dobbins, Quentin Johnston this week. Look for Quentin Johnston to touch the paint. He's going to get a matchup against a solid secondary, but I do like him one-on-one. Big 6'5" receiver, especially if we're talking gambling purposes, like an anytime touchdown. I like Quentin Johnston. Patriots and Titans, give me the Patriots. I like the Patriots. I like the way they're playing football. They just beat the Jets. Unless Jared Mayo understands the assignment, which I don't know if they have an assignment considering the fact that they have Drake May already. So what are you tanking for? You know what I mean? You can still suck and get a top 5 pick this year. So I think the Patriots win this game. I think they're rolling. They're clicking a little bit better. The Titans are just a fucking debacle of an organization. A real life shit show, honestly. So Mason Rudolph turned the ball over a lot last week. For a guy that needed this opportunity to shine, he doled it up. Commanders and Giants, this is one of those games where it's like the Giants are going to have people that are going to be relevant. This game on the surface looks like it's shit, but I'm telling you, this is one of those games where you look at and you say, man, I could have either won or lost my game had I played a player from the Giants. Because the Giants are going to be down, and they're not going to be down by as much as people think, but they're going to be down enough to where they're going to play with tempo. Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Neighbors, these are guys that are going to be good to go. Terry McLaurin, the usual suspects, Zach Ertz, the running back room, Jalen Daniels, everybody's in play for the Commanders. This is a game for the Commanders. This is a game, a regular season, before it started, no one would have thought the Commanders would be 6-2, but here we are, and this is what we're doing. So since this is what we're doing, and the Commanders are 2-2 on the road, and the Giants are 0-4 at home, something has to give here. I don't have the Giants winning this game, but it's going to be closer than expected because the Giants' defense is solid. It's going to come down to can that offense get enough points generated to keep that defense off the field. Saints and Panthers, dog shit game. If you got Alvin Kamara, this is one of those games where he's probably going to go ham and cheese melt. Chris Olave, if he can stay off the sideline, he should have 100 yards receiving. This Panthers organization is bad. They, too, are tanking. For what? We don't know. We don't really know. You ever just seen a team that just sucks so bad, but you don't know why they suck? Like there's there's organizations in professional sports that suck, but we know why they suck. They suck because they're trying to get a pick, or they suck because they got injuries, or they suck because of the anything. The Panthers just suck. They truly are a terrible organization, man. Excuse me. Through and through, they're a terrible organization, man. Broncos and Ravens. Look for the Ravens to bounce back. Look for the Ravens to get right. Look for the Broncos to get their ass kicked on a Sunday morning. This is not going to be good for the Broncos. This probably would have went better had the Ravens won. Had the Ravens beat the Cleveland Browns, this game would have been a lot better because the Broncos would have came in with the Ravens team. They were kind of like overlooking them probably, but now they are not overlooking them. They are homed in. The Broncos are 5-3, America. They play an ugly brand of football, but it wins. It's an ugly brand of football. It generates. It's not good for fantasy football. It's not good for sports betting, but it generates wins, and I guess that's good overall. So, look for the Broncos to get that ass beat on Sunday. Lamar Jackson's going to be on a whole new level. I'm going to call him Laser Lamar for on Monday because Sunday he's about to go crazy. Zay Flowers, Rashard Bateman, Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, the usual suspects are all in play. They're all in play. And even for the Broncos, Franklin, Cortland Sutton, these guys are also in play because the secondary of the Ravens is atrocious. Excuse me. Bears and Cardinals. This game is, it's two former Oklahoma quarterbacks, though one didn't finish at OU. Both coached by Lincoln Riley, so this is the Lincoln Bowl. We're going to call this the Lincoln Riley Bowl. And there's going to be points scored. There's going to be an opportunity for the Cardinals. I don't know about this Bears offense. One day they look good. The next day they're giving handoffs to fucking offensive linemen. So you just really don't know what really is going on in Chicago. And honestly, that's unfortunate. Truly unfortunate, man. Dog shit game. Don't want to talk about it too much. I mean, the usual suspects, you hope they're in play, but Caleb Williams has to be able to throw the ball. Arizona, you don't have too many weapons outside of Marvin Harrison. James Conner is going to be all right if he can stop fumbling because he too is old and fumbles. You can't be both. That is a death penalty for a running back. And honestly, fuck that game. Lions and Packers. This might be the game of the week. Lions and Packers, man. Divisional game in Green Bay. 6-1 Lions, 6-2 Green Bay. Hopefully Jordan Love plays. The guy gets injured a lot. And you can't have your franchise quarterback on his back like that, man. He's on his back more than a porn star. We got to figure it out, Jordan. We got to get you eating right, and we got to get you stretching better. But if Jordan Love plays, all the assets are available for the Packers. You want them all. If not, the Lions, same thing. You want everybody. Everybody is in play except for the defenses. Do not play the defenses in this game. Do not play your defenses in this game. This next game, the Rams and the Seahawks, do not play your defenses in these games. These games are going to be high scoring. These are going to be shootouts. The Rams and the Seahawks play everyone. Geno Smith has to bounce back. His last month has been bad. His last 4 games. Look at Geno Smith's numbers over his last 4 games and call me a liar. I'm telling you now, he's due for a good fucking game. And this is that game. Do not play the Seahawks defense. Do not play the Rams defense. This game is going to get high scoring. Colts and Vikings. Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback for the Colts. And yes, you can hear the joy in my voice because I have Michael Pittman Jr. And Anthony Richardson is terrible. I've been telling you guys this. He's fucking terrible. He's not a good quarterback. Oh, well, Jimmy, he's still getting trained. He has to get his tools homed. He doesn't have any fucking tools, dude. Anthony Richardson is exactly what Lamar Jackson was supposed to be. I'm trying to tell you this. This is why NFL owners have a problem with drafting people like Anthony Richardson, because they fucking bust. Anthony Richardson has not put the work in. You can tell. Don't tell me he's put the work in. When he's subbing himself out of games. That is insane. That is genuinely insane. Dude's not even 23 years old. How old is Anthony Richardson? You know what I mean? These are questions that need answers. Because you're subbing yourself out of the game in a key part of the game. Like, we're not just talking about, a running back getting subbed out. We're talking about your franchise core. You're 22 years old, my guy. You're 22. Vanteros. Yo, Vanteros. And you're subbing yourself out of the fucking game. That is crazy. I am happy they benched him. I hope he stays on the fucking bench. Maybe he can learn something and save his fucking career. Because I'm telling you, the dude's bad at football. Vikings, everybody's in play. Colts defense is dog water. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Don't play the Vikings defense. If Joe Flacco is starting, which they've already said it, do not play the Vikings defense. He has a whole week to prepare as a starter. Michael Pittman Jr., anytime touchdown, book it. Because we're back in, baby. Monday Night Football, Baker versus Mahomes. 7-0 versus 4-4. It was looking all good for the Buccaneers, and then the wheels fell off. Mike Evans is not playing. I'm here to tell you that right now. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe any of the reports that you're going to hear or see. Mike Evans is trending towards playing. He's not playing. He's 100% not playing. The Buccaneers are a 9-point dog at this game. Mike Evans plays your 7-point dog. He's not playing. Okay? But overall, Week 9, there's some promise. There's some promise on the line. You might play the Chiefs defense that week, especially this week. Overall, it's a good week. I'll be posting some sports betting stuff on TikTok. I got a TikTok. That guy, I think it's Jigsaw Jimmy on TikTok. 17. And there's that guy Jig on the Instagram. You guys know where to find me. As Deion Sanders says, I'm not hard to find. What's hard to find is subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button. Please try my grass. It's so decadent and so lovely and nice. Just please, let's do this together. We are on this long journey together. And real quick, rapid fire, money line picks for Week 9. I told you I like the Jets. I lied. I like the Texans. Give me the Texans on the road. Give me the Cowboys. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bengals. Give me the Browns. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Commanders. Give me the Saints. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Lions. Give me the Rams. Give me a Viking. And the Chiefs. Those are all the picks for this week. I will also be posting anytime touchdowns this week. Please subscribe. Please follow. Let's just do this. This is a ship that doesn't sink. It's a friendship. You know how we get down. Thanks for listening. And once again, this is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Thanks for listening. Peace.